America's First Ladies. What does a First Lady do? The First Lady of the United States is the wife of the President. Being First Lady isn't an ordinary job. First Ladies don't get paid. First ladies also are very much in the public eye. This gives them the chance to talk to many Americans about causes or projects they believe in. Over the years, first ladies have worked hard to help poor Americans and the environment. They've also worked to support schools and libraries and to enrich the lives of thousands of children. Eleanor Roosevelt. One of the most powerful First Lady was Eleanor Roosevelt. Her husband, Franklin Roosevelt, was president during a difficult time in America. They moved into the White House during the Great Depression of the 1930s, when many people were out of work. Eleanor was born to wealthy parents and grew to become a hard worker. She worked as a reporter and as a humanitarian, giving to people who need her help. She was the first lady to travel all over the world. She went to visit soldiers in the war zones in England and in the South Pacific during World War II. She met thousands of injured soldiers and spent time talking with them while they were recovering. Roosevelt was the first lady to become heavily involved in politics. She was a champion of women's rights and civil rights. She fought for laws to protect Black Americans from violence and discrimination. In 1945, her husband died to polio, a disease that he had suffered from during his presidency. Jacqueline Kennedy. Jackie Kennedy grew up in New York. She loved riding a horse and continued to ride throughout her life. She graduated from Vassar College. She worked as a photographer for a Washington, D.C. newspaper. Publishing would always be a part of her life. Jackie met a young man named John Jack Kennedy in 1952. He told her he would be President of the United States one day. A year later, he was a U.S. Senator. They married in 1953. He was elected president in 1960. The Kennedy family moved into the White House with their two children, Carolyn and John Jr. When Kennedy was First Lady, she invited all the America to see the White House. A CBS television camera crew followed her on a personal tour of the White House in 1962. Kennedy worked to restore the White House and share its rich history with everyone. She also promoted arts such as painting and dance. Americans came to love her for her style, sense of fashion, and manner. Gracious manner. In 1963, President Kennedy was assassinated. The First Lady courage during the tragedy won the admiration of the world. After later in life, she worked as a book editor in New York. Betty Ford. Elizabeth Betty Ford was born in Chicago, Illinois, and grew up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. During the Great Depression, she worked as a clothing model and dance teacher to earn spending money. She also worked with children with disabilities. After graduating from high school, she studied dance with the famous teacher Martha Graham. In her early 20s, she moved to New York City and performed with Graham's dance company in Carnegie Hall. In 1948, Betty married Gerald Ford, a World War II veteran and lawyer. Ford was running to become U.S. Representative for Michigan. Ford won the election and served 13 terms in Congress. When Spiro Agnew resigned as vice president in 1973, President Richard Nixon appointed Ford to take his place. A big scandal forced Nixon to resign the next year, causing Ford to suddenly become President of the United States. Betty Ford was very active as First Lady. She was a huge supporter of equal rights for women, and of mental health treatment for all who needed it. During her time in the White House, she was diagnosed, diagnosed with cancer and underwent surgery for the disease. Her openness about her illness helped raise awareness for cancer patients across America. Her husband lost his re-election bid to Jimmy Carter in 1976. The First Lady remained extremely popular until the end of his life in office, however. Hillary Rodham Clinton Hillary Rodham was going to the law school at Yale University when she met a law student named Bill Clinton. They married after law school and moved into Rock, Arkansas. Hillary worked as an attorney and taught at the University of Arkansas Law School. Bill Clinton also taught law after he was elected governor of Arkansas. For 12 years, Hillary Clinton was First Lady of the state of Arkansas. As First Lady of the United States, Clinton worked hard for better health care for all Americans. President Clinton asked the First Lady to lead a task force on national health care reform. She was the First Lady to have an official government position during her husband's presidency. In 2000, Clinton was elected U.S. Senator from New York. She was the First Lady elected to the U.S. Senate. In 10, uh, in 2009, she became the U.S. Secretary of State. In 2016, she became the first woman chosen by a major political party to run for president. Michelle Black Obama. Michelle Obama was the first black first lady. She grew up in South Chicago. After graduating from Princeton University, she went to Harvard Law School. She worked as a lawyer and a city planner in Chicago. She also ran a program that helped young people become leaders in their communities. She married Barack Obama in 1992. She helped him win election to the U.S. Senate in 2004. She also gave many speeches that helped him win the presidential election in 2008 and 2012. As First Lady, Obama worked to support kids' health through the Let's Move program, which encouraged healthy eating and exercise. She also worked and helped military families and supported education for girls all around the world. Unofficial but important. First Lady do not an, hold an official position in government, but they do play an important champion social causes and represent the president and country at official events. Many first ladies remain widely admired long after their time in the White House.